Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan, and yes, I have my lighting and I have my fan. Please remember to give this video a like, a share, subscribe to the channel. That helps out the channel very, very much. So I wanted to do just a random deck video, and I wanted to show some of my random decks. Anyway, some of which you may be familiar with, some of which you may have never heard of before, but I'm going to actually start from left to right. So here we have the Bad Bitches Tarot. I'm actually going to use this at an event tomorrow night, and I'm very excited about it. So the Bad Bitches Tarot was written by Ethony. Some of you may even be subscribed to her YouTube channel. And the art is by Lena Semenkova. No, actually, art by Lena Semenkova and Sasha Semenkova. So So I bought this tarot deck on a lark. I love the concept. You know, bad bitches being living goddesses and bad bitches. I do like the artwork. The artwork is very distinct. It took a little getting used to for me, but I definitely enjoy the deck. I don't use it often enough. And for all I know, I might have to work with this to channel my inner bad bitch more often. I love the fact that it is in this beautiful box. I'm going to have Drake, who's more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, do a close-up of the cover of the box. It's a very nice designed box. I'm very happy with it. And those of you who hate tuck boxes or have no problem with them, but you prefer something else, this is perfect for you. Especially if you want to remember how much of a bad bitch you are. Now, one of my newest favorite oracle decks, the Witching Hour Oracle, which was written by Lorriane Anderson. Some of you may be familiar with some of her other decks, such as the Seasons of the Witch decks for Samhain, Yule, Litha, etc. And she also ventured into tarot decks. Specifically, this is the first in a series, Seasons of the Witch Winter Tarot, A Journey Through Yule and Imbolc. So this one I have it on good authority that the Seasons of the Witch Autumn Tarot will be published in August, and I am very excited about that. Leave that there. So the artist for the Witching Hour Oracle is named Olivia Burki. I recently finished actually a deeper dive with this deck where January 1st I pulled one card from this deck every day for the entire month. And then February, I pulled 2 cards every day from this deck for that month. And then in March, I forgot and kept pulling 2 cards. And then in April, I pulled 3 cards from this deck and completed my deeper dive as of April 30th of this year. And I have already used this once so far for professional readings. And it is another deck that will be with me tomorrow night at a special event that I'm doing in Hoboken, New Jersey. And then we have Pixie's Astounding Lenormand by Edward Zebrowski. Now I will admit, when I first began learning Lenormand, and when I first began studying how to give a Lenormand reading, or Lenormand if you prefer, I have difficulty Americanizing the pronunciation because I took 2 years of French in high school. So for me it's more natural to say Lenormand as opposed to Lenormand. But anyway, I really didn't vibe with this deck at first because I found myself vibing better and working better with expanded Lenormand decks that had more than 36 cards. But I've gotten to the point where I can do a reading and feel comfortable with a Lenormand deck that has 36 cards. It also has a nice, chunky, light chunky guidebook. And I will say that the guidebook is not your typical guidebook. It actually has different sample spreads. And it does not go into, or I think it does, but it definitely goes into using the Lenormand with a past, present, and future spread. And it also has a 6-card mini box spread, which I find very delightful. It does talk a little bit about Le Grand Tableau, which is French for, well, it has 2 translations, but a loose translation would be the big picture. But I've come to really love this deck, and I'm looking forward to using it tomorrow. It has a lot of beautiful artwork on it. And Edmund Zebrowski is a name that I've heard before. I just don't remember from where offhand. Now, one of my newest decks is called the New World Tarot by Cristy C. Road. Now, as some of you may recall, a few years ago I did a more than a walkthrough series of videos with the Pride Tarot, which was published by US Game Systems in April 2020. And again, it proves that some good things did come out of 2020. And afterward, I became so enamored with the deck and the artists, pardon me, that I decided I wanted to buy all of the decks illustrated by all of those artists. And I finally purchased the New World Tarot, and I'm happy to say that I purchased it at an independent queer bookstore in Manhattan. In fact, it is the only queer bookstore in Manhattan. It's called the Bureau of General Services Queer Division, or the Bureau for short. And it was the only one, and it was waiting for me, and I purchased it. It is a mini version. And I will say, I'm not usually keen on mini version decks, tarot or otherwise, but I'm really digging it. I'm really digging it. And of course, as some of you may recall from that series of videos, Ms. Rode illustrated 2 or I think it was 3 of the cards in the Pride Tarot. So seeing her artwork here, or seeing their artwork here, makes me very happy. This one I may or may not bring tomorrow night. In fact, I don't think that I'm bringing it tomorrow night, but I may. Who knows? And then, of course, the Bibliophile Oracle deck. This one found me in a Barnes & Noble bookseller store that I had not visited for several years. And I remember visiting it in January of this year. That seems like a lifetime ago. And it was one of the things that I gave myself as a birthday gift. I definitely wanted to give myself a book and a deck. Because most of you know me, it's like if I'm buying something, what am I buying? I'm buying a book or a deck. Or books and decks. Because what else would I buy? Right? Right. Anyway. And, you know, there aren't a lot of book-themed decks. There aren't. So I was very happy to see the Bibliophile Oracle deck, and by the way, it was the only one in that Barnes & Noble bookseller store. So I knew it was there for me. Isn't that right, Durga? Yes, that's why you showed up right now. And this is Durga. Durga is my primary feline familiar, and she is my elder. She is the oldest of my cats, and she's one that I found when she was smaller than my palm in the laundry room of my apartment building. And she's here all these years later. Oh, did I hurt you? I'm sorry. No. You had a can before, so you're not getting another can until tomorrow. But I'll give you other food later. So, I love the deck. It has, I should know this, it has 52 cards. So guess what? If you have this deck, you can pull 1 card a week for the year. Thank you, Durga. She loves knocking things off my desk. Actually, what she's doing is she's reminding me that I must do a massive cleaning and reorganizing of my desk. That's what she's doing. And she takes, let me put it this way, she has no problem reminding me multiple times a day. Little bitch. Oops, did I say that out loud? You know I love her. She's still a little bitch. Anyway, the Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle. Written by Adama Sesay, illustrated by Klaus Fama. I love this Oracle deck. And I love the artwork. I love the concept. I love the richness, the energetic richness of this deck. This is one of those decks that I do not use that often. Over the years, I have come to know that there are certain decks that I use very infrequently because the spirits want it that way. One of them is the incredibly, infamously known Aleister Crowley Thoth tarot deck. And that is a tarot deck that I use very infrequently. I will tell you that every time that I have used that tarot deck, I never see that person again. They either move to a different state or a different country, and that's it. Never see them again. But this is one of those decks where if I'm using it, it's the universe putting you on notice. And it's basically saying, you know what, bitch? You better cut your fucking shit right the fuck now because we're sick and tired of it. You have us up to here. Or as we say in Spanish, me tiene harta. That's what the spirits say when I use one of these decks. Me tiene harta. Me tiene encojonado. Ya no voy a mantener tu mierda. Para con esa mierda inmediatamente. Those of you who speak Spanish, you know exactly everything that I say. You're hysterical with laughter as a result. So yeah, if I'm using this deck, it's like the universe is saying, okay, bitch, now you're going to listen to us whether you like it or not. And we know you're not going to like it, and that's too damn bad. And then, of course, the Hierophanies Tarot. This has become one of my personal favorite tarot decks. I love the fact that it was created by a queer man who is a trans man, who is bisexual, and who is also a magical practitioner, as well as a brilliant artist. And there is actually a TV series in the UK that featured one of some of the cards of this deck, which I will include in the description box for this video, and I'm very excited about that. So yeah, this has become one of my constant use decks. It has been with me for most of the mercaditos. It will definitely be with me at next month's Pride Mercadito. I've used it with private clients, either LGBTQ plus clients or their allies. I've also used, I'm going to be using this for the Saints and Sinners Moon, Serpent and Bone 8th Annual Summer Solstice Night Market. It will be with me at Modern Druid in Nyack, New York in July, so it is a constant use deck. And last but not least, the Naipes. All these years later, it never ceases to amaze me how the Naipes, my Naipes deck video remains one of my most watched, one of my most liked, one of my most commented on YouTube videos. It blows my mind. All these years later, and I will tell you, it fascinates the shit out of me because none of my other videos have even come close to this. So I'm like, can I bottle this and make this happen for at least every 9th or 10th video? Durga, what are you doing? Durga, what are you doing? Durga. You know what, Durga, why don't you come down from there? Thank you very much, because you might do something I'm not going to like. All right. So the Naipes is also intriguing to me because it connects me to the Spaniard side of me. I'm much more connected to the African part of me, my Afro-Caribbean heritage, if you will. But the Naipes connects me to my Spaniard side because Naipes was the surname of a Spanish man, a man who was born in España, who founded a card deck publishing house, or a card deck publisher. And the thing that always fascinated me about Naipes is how they've shown up in my life time and time again. I still remember when I was 4 years of age. Now mind you, I'm currently 56. So 52 years ago, when I was 4 years of age, I remember my grandmother had a best friend named Nilo. And Nilo used to read these cards. So Nilo would read these cards. So I remember when I was 4, my grandmother and I, because I was 4, I couldn't be left alone, my grandmother and I went across the street to Nilo's apartment, and they were having café con leche, they were having cafecito. I would have had café con leche if I had. But they were having cafecito. He was reading the Naipes. Las barajas españolas is the other name. En Cuba, they're called las postalitas, which means the little postcards. But I love these cards. And there was a time when these cards were just cards to me. And then one day they started screaming at me, not whispering, not speaking, screaming at me. Mira, fulano, ¿qué pasa? And I'm like, what the fuck? So now they don't scream at me anymore. But they do talk to me. The interpretations are very basic, like super simple basic. Like for example, as de oros, equivalent to the Ace of Pentacles, money, money, money. That's the meaning of this card for me. Money, money, money. Another example is what would be called the Jack of Spades in English, or Jack of Swords, if you will. What are you looking at? Two of Swords. Do you really want to pursue this relationship? Do you really want to pursue this partnership? Four of Coins. Why do you worry about money? You've still got money. What's the problem? These cards for me are like gypsy cards. Gypsy cards, they read you to filth. Gypsy cards are not sweet. They're not nice. They're not the little babushka. These are like, bitch, all of your problems are your own damn fault. And before you even get to say, you better reshuffle those cards, bitch, she's like, hey, que te dije? What did I say to you? Your problems are your own damn fault. So what you gonna do about it, bitch? So when I use these cards, and I use them very sparingly, because sometimes people are like, you're not nice, Mr. Alvarez. Well, I'm a sweetheart. These cards are not nice, because they're not going to put up with your bullshit. See, after the reading ends, you're going to go home. I'm going to be here. We're not going to see each other until the next time I see you. But for now, it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So this is just a random assortment of some of my many, 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 many decks. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you have any of these decks, if you want any of these decks. I will list the titles of these decks so that you have them for your convenience. And of course, thank you to all of the individuals who were involved in the creation of these decks. Thank you to all of the individuals who sell these decks in person or online. Thank you also to all of the wonderful people who made it possible for me to receive these decks. And of course, thank you to all of the ones who publish them, who sell them, etc., etc., etc. Durga. Durga. Come on down, baby. You're worrying me, scaring me. So anyway, let me know if you have these decks. Let me know if you want any of these decks. I'm not going to sell them to you, but I'm curious if you do want them, if you're intrigued by them. And as always, stay in tune with your intuition. Stay safe. Stay well. Hello, Apollo. Stay hydrated. And stay tuned for the next video.